morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show, and today it is a special day because we're loading up the van right there, and we're heading up to one of my favorite events of the year, GetOn ADV Fest in Sturgis. Long road trip, a lot of miles to cover, and we've even got a special guest or two, so let's go have some fun. I'm currently loading up the van. It is roughly 8:30. I need to be on the road in a half hour because I need to be up in Dallas to pick up Jake the garden snake because he is riding up with me in the candy van. He's getting in a truck. I mean, I'm not really a stranger anymore, but he's doing everything that your parents told you not to do. And then also because I want to get that little baby Solar back there in the truck as my bop around bike while I'm there. That means I gotta put the bumper hitch on because that's where the TW700's going. So I gots to get all of that in the truck and tied down. Let's finish packing and let's hit the road. Look at who we found.
Oh, you put me on the spot there. What's going on, everybody?
And
Jake,
we got
Jake and Jake here.
the TW700 all strapped down.
Maybe that. You want those?
You ready for 17 hours, 18 hours?
No, but we gonna do it, aren't we?
We got a long way to go and a short time to get there, as the song says, so let's get to trucking. Well, good morning. Day 2, and we're, it's like, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning or something. We drove through the night, and we're in South Dakota. Part of me just wants to go to the Buffalo Chip and take a nap so that I can be...
No, let's go to town and drink.
Going to town and drink, I guess. All right. Well, people, we made it. We're out here at the Buffalo Chip. Behind us, we have the cabins. It's Amanda Zito's down there. She's right next to me. And then I don't know who's in the middle there, but that one right there is the other Jake. So whoever that poor soul is, God help him. And this setup in here is actually really nice. So we got 2 air mattresses. We got a fridge, microwave, most importantly though, air conditioning and a vanity mirror so that I can do my hair in the morning. But now that we're more or less unpacked, I'm gonna go ride down to the area where everybody is and see what's going on. Kyle Bradshaw over at Nelson Rig to the rescue. I completely forgot a tail bag for my bike, and he was like, here, you just want the trail's end? So he handed me this. This is actually one of my favorite pieces of luggage because it comes right on and off, which is good for the KTM because it has this. Being able to just unlatch it from right there is perfect so that I can get to the gas tank. So I need to cinch that boy down. I've got tons of straps back up at the cabin, and it's time for me to get prepped, and maybe we'll sneak a sunset ride tonight. Maybe we'll go hit Van Auker Canyon. Alrighty folks, this is actually going to end up being my first ADV shakedown on this bike. Of course, in my infinite wisdom, the first thing I did was take a brand new bike, and I'm like, yeah, let's send it. Let's see what it does. It's almost broken in-ish. It's got about 380 miles, 350 miles on it. So the most important part of the break-in has been done appropriately. So let's see what this thing can do. I love this thing. It's unbelievably confidence-inspiring.
A few moments later.
My bike's got to cool off.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a second. Yeah, it hit 240. I was like, that's not okay. My fans aren't on. No, I think something's broken. Well, guys, I can tell you right now, I am so livid. I can literally taste iron in my mouth. If you've ever been on a trip and had your bike break down, you know exactly how I'm feeling right now. There is nothing worse than putting in all the effort to getting halfway across the country only to have your motorcycle leave you high and dry. You could either try to fix it, or if you're smart, which I was not, you could just hop on RiderShare and rent a motorcycle for a few days to get back on the road. RiderShare is the biggest motorcycle rental network with thousands of bikes across the country, and if you're a KTM owner at an ADV rally and your KTM does what KTMs do best and leave you stranded on the side of the trail, you can even get off-road coverage for ADV and dual sport motorcycles so you can get back out there and enjoy the trails. Click that link down in the description below and get 25% off your first rental. And a big shout out to RiderShare for sponsoring this video. I have not been this mad in a long time. And I'm trying my best to keep my composure. I am furious with this bike, because now I have to limp this thing out of the trails. The thing that's making me so mad right now, more so than anything, is coming in on this trail was some of the best riding I've felt like I've been doing in a minute. I felt so confident. I felt so one with the bike immediately. It just immediately clicks with me. And you know, I was flying pretty good. Now I have to watch my temperatures on the way out of here, and then I have to start diagnosing back at the camp. I just hope that I can make this work. And I mean, I'd like to think that one overheat isn't that bad, but I don't know, man. It's still in break-in, and the fans aren't kicking on. We did take the bike apart back there. We have a solution. We don't know what's wrong with it. My guess is that whatever sensor is supposed to be turning the fan on just isn't, because what I did was, or well, what Jake helped me do, is we tied up power directly to the battery, and then I poodled around down here in the field. I wouldn't get over like 210, and that was just, the fan was constantly blowing. So I think what we're gonna do tomorrow is we're just gonna head into an auto parts store and find a way to wire up a switch into this circuit in a way that I can disassemble. I also did hit a ditch down there while I was testing it, and it was like 3 feet deep. And I was going like 10-ish, maybe 20 miles an hour. And I jammed on the brakes and all that, but tire went in the ditch and I went over the handlebars. Didn't get it on camera, unfortunately, which sucks. But as you might be able to tell, I am now walking with a wee tad bit of a limp. So tonight is rest, ice, compression, elevation, and we'll see how we're doing for tomorrow. But now I got to go down to main area where we're having the rider meeting, a happy hour, and then a creator meetup. And apparently I'm a featured creator, so God help them all. I'm just gonna go to sleep and try again tomorrow. Both of my motorcycles, they're screwed. The solar won't come out of park, which is infuriating. And honestly, I'm gonna reach out to that company one more time, at the point where I can't stay silent about my issues with this motorcycle. I'll tell you right now, I made that video a while back. It has 18.7 miles on the clock. None of the issues have anything to do with the event. The event is amazing. They have more manufacturers here this year than they ever have in the past. CF Moto, BMW, Triumph, Suzuki's here this year. They've got Harley Davidson, Moto Morini, and one more I can't remember. But they've got a ton of people here. The environment is awesome. It's so much fun. Everybody here is so great. And the riding is incredible. And the route planning is awesome. It's great. But that's what makes it sting all the more that I can't ride. Because it's just my bikes that don't work. Morning, everybody. Day 2, GetOn ADV Fest. And my left thigh is pretty darn sore. So it's gonna be an interesting day. We're changing the plans a little bit. We're gonna take turns on the CF Moto. So I'll be out for 2 hours, then Jake's gonna go out for 2 hours, and me. In my 2 hours, basically, I'm gonna go into town and try to get everything I need to make the KTM work, and then maybe this afternoon I'll be able to go back out and actually ride the trail I wanted to ride yesterday. You should never do anything that Jake the Garden Snake does. He's Mr. Safety. Here's our victim, the Papio here, except this one is equipped with a sidecar. Mr. Safety, ready for action. I am seriously tired. Those spills took it out of me, and I am just gonna go sit in the AC for a minute, get out of my gear, put my KTM back together. And it's not like if my KTM doesn't work, there aren't a plethora of other bikes to ride. You can go get in line for any of these demos. Although I can't demo the Yamaha. Well, I mean I can, but I can't film the Yamaha because old Mr. Snake broke some rules, and now he's the reason why Yamaha doesn't let you ride with a camera anymore. So, darn you, Jake. End of day 2. I thought we had a solution for the KTM. I went and wired up a switch, literally a bypass switch, to just turn the fan on automatically. I set it up, and it had the water temperature light come on before my oil breached 180 degrees. I checked the radiator, and it's like just a teensy tiny bit low. Maybe that's enough to mess it up. How did it get low? Something's more deeply wrong with the KTM. So I'm gonna go to the folks over at CF Moto tomorrow, see if I can convince them to pretty please let me borrow one of their bikes for the day. I tell them I won't be going off-road. I'll just be cruising. Now, I know what some people are going to say, real quick. You're going to say head gasket. Bad head gasket. It's the only thing that really causes coolant leak. Or maybe you got a bad sump and it's bleeding out in the motor. No. Because the motor oil is shockingly clean. Like, it's not even turned black yet. So, the oil's in great shape. It's in the right spot on the bike. So, not that. We're just gonna have to see what KTM dealership says, because it's going in for warranty work. So, see you guys in the morning. Ben, talk to me while you're eating breakfast. Isn't that why YouTubers?
I'm done eating, so it's coffee.
Especially on what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's just, I've never had...
Breakfast is more or less wrapping up, and unfortunately, I sat with the folks from CF Moto. Their bikes are all spoken for today. So I think what I'm going to do is try to put the fairing back on the KTM. Well, not try, it's really easy. And then go for a street ride and hope that keeping the air moving will help the bike stay cool enough that I can make it through a day. Because I'm not sitting around this camp all day long. I'm getting something done. But I was talking with Ben, Dork in the Road, and I realized that had I brought my Hawk 250, my piece of junk, $800, rusted out Chinese bike, it would have been more reliable than the KTM. So, and my Solar, but woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? So, is what it is. Well, hopefully that will direct a little bit more air into the radiator, and if I keep the thing moving, maybe it won't overheat. Fingers crossed. Well, folks, we're back here. I gotta find my 3mm Allen. Where is it? There it is. You guys, if you're interested, should go check out the review. It's a little bit different than usual because I didn't really have a ton of time with it, but I can say in the limited time that I had with this particular motorcycle, it was a genuine surprise how nice it feels. Like through the twisties, the front brake is every bit as good as on the 450 SS, and the NK, if a little bit less efficient because it's a heavier bike. But then you get it off-road and it's so confidence inspiring and it's so playful and it's so fun. It's just fun, and it's $6,200. If I was in the market for another ADV bike, I would buy that one. But let's get this back to CF and go finish the orange homunculus over there. I got it all buttoned back up, but we'll see if we can't at least keep it moving and cool while we're on the road. So I would definitely like to, you know, go put down a few miles on it, more so than the 30 that I've done so far. So let's go find Jake and let's hit the road. Just rolled into a town here called Nemo, and right there used to be a food truck that served the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. It was a bacon cheeseburger between 2 grilled cheeses. Just saying that out loud right now is causing my arteries to clog up. That was one of the greatest sandwiches a human being ever made, and unfortunately I've come here now like 5 years in a row, and I have yet to see that food truck again. So if anybody out there knows where to get a Fatty Matty, you tell me. I really thought we were gonna get lucky and miss this, but I guess not. Thought it was all going that way, but it's right on top of us now. Oh well, at least it's not cold, and frankly it's not really raining all that hard, so I don't care. Keep my bike from overheating. Huh. Well, we made it to Crazy Horse, and that is pretty freaking cool looking, I'm not gonna lie. That was actually a really fun ride in. Got to do Vanocker Canyon, Nemo Road, and one other that I don't remember. Norris Creek, Norris Branch, something like that. 3 great, really twisty roads out here. And I have an excuse for speeding because I have to keep the motor cool. But check this out, this is where we ended up. Might be a little hard to see on the little camera, but that over there is Crazy Horse. I think we need to get on a bus over there to go closer. We already paid $10 to come in. Not feeling particularly enthused to pay more money to get closer. Not exactly the most thrilling thing in the whole world. I mean, the museum is interesting. And then, you know, that sure is a big old face in the rock. We'll see if they ever actually finish it, but kind of doubt it. In the meantime, I think we're gonna head up into Hill City, try to find some lunch, and mosey on back to the Buffalo Chip. Well, a little bit of lunch later, I'm feeling a little bit perkier, but man, I gotta be honest, dealing with this KTM has really sort of sucked the wind out of my sails and put a bit of a damper on this whole trip, because I just know how much work it's going to be to get it right, and I'm going to have to argue with TJs. I'm going to have to, because I mean everything's an argument with them. I'm going to have to wait on parts because KTM parts are never available. I'm rolling now and it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm going to head back down Vanocker Canyon, which is such an awesome route. But I don't know, man. I just kind of wasn't expecting this bike to implode so spectacularly. I was expecting a little bit of quirkiness, a little bit of oddity, but this is pushing it. Jake's gonna head up to Deadwood, get himself that old cowboy vibe going, and I'm heading back to the Buffalo Chip. My left leg is starting to hurt. I need to put one of my Liat braces on because that's actually going to help support my leg a little bit. Man, whatever I did to it, it is not happy with me right now. Let's get back and see what the festivities are like at the chip. This is some nerd's CRF right here, this 300 Rally, and he's tried to put some mods on there and make it look all nice and stuff, but why would you spend all the money on this? And you could just have that doesn't work, ever. Who needs Honda reliability anyway when you've got KTM spiciness and sassiness? I will say, man, after this weekend, I miss that Honda reliability. Well, folks, that's a wrap. GetOn ADV Fest 2024 is in the past. All the bikes are in there. The KTM is stuck in the corner thinking about what it's done, and the Solar is joining it. Jake is currently banging his head against the wall because he wants to leave, and I'm filming. But we're going to mosey on back down to Texas. It's a long way to go. And this time we actually don't have a short time to get there. I don't really have a big rush. So, just going to get back down. And then the next step in the adventure is making sure that fucking KTM works. So, stay tuned for me berating KTM North America and TJ Cycles in Austin.